So under the general discussion, what is a ladybird deed? Well, basically a ladybird deed is a split interest deed, meaning you create the deed and there's a life estate and then there's a remainder interest. But unlike the typical life estate remainder deed that we all remember from law school, this one has some little peculiar traits to it. For one thing, when you look at a ladybird deed, it basically says that the life tenant has a right to sell the property, the entire fee interest, to a third party and divest the remainderment of his interest. He can also mortgage the property without joinder of the remainderment. And there's typically another provision in a ladybird deed that the life tenant can commit waste to the detriment of the remainderment, which I'm going to bring that theme back a little bit later because it got me thinking a little bit. But those are the chief characteristics that you'll see in a normal ladybird deed. Now the deed can be created either by a third party or could be by the person themselves that owns the property. The perceived benefits of a ladybird deed are to avoid probate, maintain homestead tax exemption, commit waste, maintain control, be able to reconvey or mortgage the property without joinder of the remainderment, and retain all profits from the sale. From a tax point of view, it's actually all good. Because there's a retention of a lifetime interest to use the property, it's included in the gross estate of the life tenant when he dies under 2036A of the Internal Revenue Code, which then creates a step-up in basis for the remainderman who then inherits the property. So if the remainderman sold the property the next day, there would be zero income tax because their basis is now the fair market value at death. And as long as they don't hold it for some extended period of time where there might be gain after that, they'll pay zero income tax. So that's a very good attribute of a ladybird deed. The Department of Revenue has also stated that if you draft a ladybird deed, it will not be subject to documentary stamp tax. Also, if it's homestead property, there will not be a loss of homestead tax exemption, and the county should not reassess your property and raise taxes as a result of doing a ladybird deed.